Good morning, everybody. We're just waiting for a few more to join, and then we'll just go through a little bit of housekeeping and an introduction before we kick off today's workshop. It's great to see you all, by the way. And introducing Rene. Rene's with me today, and Maya from the ASSC.
Good morning. Interesting camera, Karen.
You're upside down. I don't know how you fix that. Has anybody got any ideas?
I don't know if Karen is joining from a tablet or a laptop. Laptops usually it happens when you join from a tablet, and it's not quite right, but.
Just give it another couple of minutes to see if we've got any more coming in. Maya, if you see any in the waiting room that I miss, can you just let them in, please?
Yep, of course.
Thank you. Just in case I miss anybody, which would be awful.
Karen's on a laptop. Had this before. Okay.
It's nice to see faces this morning, because normally we're behind a screen in a webinar format for these workshops, so it's actually really lovely to see everybody.
It is, yes, nice to see people. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, makes a difference. Right, I think I'm going to kick off this session, if that's okay, if everybody's ready, Rene and Maya. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the third session in our series of exclusive workshops, which are part of the marketing membership package. The last session was 2 weeks ago, and I'm sure many of you here today joined it. It was all about search engine optimization and how it can help you boost your presence online. If you've not seen it and you want to catch up, I would highly recommend doing so, because it was a really interesting session. You can get the recording is only available to marketing members, so it won't be on the website or in the normal newsletter, but you can email Maya on communications@assc.co.uk. The contact details will be on a slide later on this morning, so you'll get that. We can then send you a copy directly to watch in your own time, but the links to all the workshops will be shared directly in the exclusive marketing member newsletter. Again, that's the monthly newsletter that only goes to marketing members. The session prior to that, if you missed it, was how to maximize your marketing membership. Again, if you would like us to send you the link, we can. So before I go on and introduce today's very special guest and partner of the ASSC, I'm just going to run through just some very basic housekeeping for this morning's workshop. As you'll see, this is a little bit of a different session, and it's how we would like to go on if we can with these workshops. It's actually an open session, which means we can all see each other, which is much nicer, much more interactive and more personal. And it gives you have got the opportunity to be on or off camera. I know Rene really likes people to be on camera, so feel free to leave your camera on. But if you're a little bit shy, you can, of course, turn your camera off. You can ask questions live during the session, or you can ask them at the end. So if you would like to ask a question, you can either click on the hand icon to raise your hand to speak, or you can pop your question in the chat, and I will look out for those questions and your hands up and bring you in at the appropriate time. When you have spoken, if you could unclick the raised hand, which you also find, if you find that, so if you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see that it says react, and it's got a heart over it. That's where, if you click on that, that's where you see the hand, just in case you're not familiar with that. There will be a comfort break as well. This is a 2-hour workshop, so there'll be a comfort break halfway through. You'll be given 10 minutes or so to make a cuppa and have some off-screen time, which I think we all appreciate. And at the end of the session, as I said, there'll be a Q&A throughout, but at the very end of the session, there will be a Q&A for any remaining questions you've got. So please leave questions in the chat so that we can capture them for you at the end. Or again, you will have the opportunity to put your hands up and ask questions. We want to, as I said before, we really want to make this session as interactive as possible. So today's session, today's workshop is all about artificial intelligence, AI, and how you can use it effectively and use AI tools to help your business and make you much more efficient. It might feel like a very complicated and fast-moving world, which it is, but if we together embrace this technology, we'll always be keeping our businesses one step ahead and making the most of every opportunity to ensure that we thrive as a self-catering community. I'm certainly looking forward to today myself and learning more. At the ASSC, we have already dabbled in AI, but we have so much more to learn as a team to make sure we are maximising all the benefits to support you, our members, and also to make us much more efficient as a team. So there's so much opportunity for all of us through AI if we use it properly. So I'm really, really delighted to welcome along today ASSC Partner Rene Looper, Rene is the founder of Tuminds, a digital agency in Inverness. Many of you, I'm sure, have come across Rene. I know myself, I attended one of his social media courses, gosh, about more than 15 years ago. So he's still here doing what he does best, and really delighted to welcome him. So Rene has been, for those of you that don't know, he's long been recognised as the leading authority in Scotland for social media consultancy, training and digital transformation. An experienced, inspiring speaker, coach, strategist and trainer, Rene combines his extensive knowledge of social media with a strong focus on AI and automation, helping businesses unlock their full potential in the digital age. So Rene, I'm now delighted to hand over to you for this morning's workshop, and you will hear from me a little bit later on. But as I said, I'll keep an eye out for those hands up and chat and let you know when we have a question. Thank you.
Perfect. Wow, what an introduction. Have you written that in ChatGPT or? Cool, excellent. Good morning, everybody. My name is Rene, and delighted to be partnering with the ASSC that I know for a long time, and I know Victoria for a long time as well. We started the business in 2006, so yeah, been around for a long time, 88 now, almost 19 years. So today it's only 2 hours with a 15-minute or 10-minute sort of break in the middle. So there's lots to tell. I'm going to talk fast. I've got slides, and feel free to take notes and everything. But at the end, the slides will be shared with you anyway. I have created the slides in canva.com, which probably most of you will use. If you haven't used Canva, then sign up for this free tool. It's a fantastic tool that is also using AI to create images. Talking about AI images, the image that you see, the lovely couple in a nice self-catering business talking to a robot, these people do not exist. AI generated. All the images that I've used in this presentation, apart from, let's see if we can go for that one. Apart from this one, these are real people. These people exist. But apart from that, all the images are AI generated. And it made my life so much easier, especially for presenting presentations like this, where you're looking for images to go with a slide. You just go to an AI generation tool, put in your prompt, and I'll explain what a prompt is, and then you get an image related to that. But we'll dive into that later on. Very quick introduction. We run a digital agency from Inverness. We do digital marketing training. We do reviews, strategies, audits, or something. And we've been working with a lot of different sort of organizations over the years, small businesses, bigger organizations, and they all have the same questions and the same sort of challenges as well. Very quickly, again, I'm not going to read everything that's on the screen. You can read it yourself, but we're going into AI, how to use it. It's not death by PowerPoint, this webinar. Well, actually, I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini. The main focus will be on ChatGPT because I guess most of you will be using it or try to use it or have heard of it, but I'll also go into Copilot and Gemini. 3 top tips, and we have a Q&A at the end. Q&A at the end doesn't mean to say that you can't ask questions in the meantime. Victoria already explained, if you have a question, if I'm talking too geeky, too touchy, just put your hand up, put something in the chat to say, can you explain that more, or didn't understand that, didn't get that, etc. So we try to get into the questions live as well. Talking about that, that's the next slide actually. This was my, on the left hand side, this was me before AI. A to-do list that only keeps getting longer instead of shorter. Sometimes on Monday morning or in the weekends they get a little bit less, but then after a couple of days my to-do list, like everybody else, is getting longer and longer. The picture on the right, or the image on the right, is after AI. And I used to say, I've been using ChatGPT since December 2022, so two years and something. I tend to say, I used to say I use AI every day, or I use ChatGPT every day. I now say I use it every hour. And that's how it has transformed my life. I save, honestly, hours in the day. And I'm not making this up. Hours in the day it saved me, because you know, there's so many things to do, emails to answer, writing reports, writing proposals, and all that sort of stuff. That takes a lot of admin time. And that's where ChatGPT can help with. So the first task is think about what is the most annoying, frustrating, time-consuming task that you face in your business. Think about that and put it in the chat as well. So, you know, quite happy to sort of answer those questions while we go along. And it would be quite nice to get your real life sort of frustrations, time-consuming elements that you think, oh, I wish someone could help me with that. Put that in the chat. And Karen, just so you know, I put in ChatGPT as well. My laptop camera shows me upside down. What causes that? And I've got an answer for you. So by the end of the presentation, I'll fix it for you. Yeah. So put it in the chat, and like I said, that image on the right is again AI generated. You probably noticed that. Right, AI. Again, I'm not going to read everything up that's on the screen. You get the slides anyway, and you can see that as well. What has changed? AI is nothing new. It was already existing in the 50s, in the 1950s. What has changed is it's now accessible to people like you and me. It used to be only if you had big budget, big businesses, big computer software in your business, you can use AI. Now it's available online for free, and you can use it for your business. What also has changed is that AI, apart from doing mundane things that you tell it to do, it can do things by itself, which is a scary thing, but it's also an opportunity. And they call that artificial generative intelligence. It can create stuff. It can create content, written content. It can create photos. It can create audio. You can create songs on on AI now, and I'll show you an example of that one as well. Videos, AI. So artificial intelligence has changed because of the generative intelligence in it. It's creating stuff from itself, from a prompt. And a prompt is basically a task that you give AI or ChatGPT. Just to give you sort of the things that are going on, when it was launched in November 2022, I actually discovered it on TikTok. I'm way too old for TikTok, but I kept seeing these videos on TikTok about this amazing tool, and it's a game changer, and this, that, and that, and a lot of it on TikTok is is amazing and all that sort of stuff. So I didn't pay attention to it until it kept coming up, and I thought, well, I definitely have to look at this, and it is a game changer. A lot of people said it's the next big thing. It is the, what is it, the fourth industrial revolution or the fifth? I don't know where we are specifically. Some people said, well, that's the end of Google. Other people say it can do everything, which is not true. And other people say, well, it's not accurate, it's cheating. I hear that a lot as well, especially from marketing people that create content for their social media using AI. It's cheating. Yeah, it's not cheating, it's making use of the tools that are available. So it's a tool, and that's how you need to approach it. It's a flashy gimmick, etc. The pros and the cons. I'm not a creative person. If you ask me to create a nice visual for Instagram or for TikTok, I struggle. If you ask me to write a engaging blog post, it's going to take me ages. I'm not creative in that sense. And we all have this, what is that, blank screen or blank piece of paper syndrome, where, you know, it's sometimes very difficult to start something because it takes a lot of brain power or creativity in that sense. That's where it can help you with. And the best way to describe AI or ChatGPT is see it as a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant that's available 24/7. It's not asking for coffee breaks. It's not asking for days off. You can use it at any time, at any moment. There are paid subscriptions for ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini and everything. You don't have to do that to start with. I would definitely recommend to start with the free version, and I'll show you the differences as well. But try it out. It's great for creating content for social media. It improves efficiency. I explained to ChatGPT, this is a lot of manual work that I do on a daily basis, and a new lead comes in. I need to do it in my CRM. I need to do this and that. I need to write this and all that sort of stuff. So I explained the workflow that I have on a daily basis, which cost me a lot of time. And I asked ChatGPT, this is my workflow. How can I make this more efficient? And it came up with beautiful recommendations about how to improve my efficiency. Now I do a lot of things a lot quicker, and actually better, better quality in that sense. And I'll give you some example of that. Other people say it's dehumanizing. It's robot talk, it's American and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, but the trick is not taking the answer that ChatGPT gives as a given and copy and paste that in your blog post or your social media post or something like that. You need to make it your own. It's a conversation starter in that sense. Misinformation, yep, it makes things up. If it doesn't know the answer, it doesn't like to say, I don't know. It never says that. It makes things up. So you need to be aware of that as well. And I'll show you some examples of that. And there are, of course, privacy and security concerns, especially when platforms like DeepSeek, where a Chinese sort of AI tool, it's a little bit worrying, you know, if I upload private information to ChatGPT or DeepSeek or Copilot or Gemini, what is happening with that private data in that sense? My recommendation would be don't upload personal or information that is you shouldn't actually share on online platforms in that sense. Anonymize it. Right.
Rene, we did actually have a question in the chat around that, which I think you've probably covered it in full, but just to say thanks, Susan, for popping that in, because I think that is a key concern, security for for everybody really is, you know, especially if you are uploading sensitive information. So, you know, the question was, what are the security implications? But I think you've kind of covered that. If there's anything else you can say on that to reassure any other advice around security would be very welcome.
Yeah. In ChatGPT, there is a switch that you can, there we go. There is a switch that you can say, I now want to use ChatGPT as a private conversation. So don't use this to train your model. So that's one thing. The other thing, better thing, to be honest, is anonymize the data. So if you have personal data of people, then take out the name of the client in that sense, and then upload it. The other way you can use it, there's another AI tool which I will mention as well, which is Claude. And that is the only AI platform that says we're not going to use your input to train the model. And I'll explain that a little bit later on as well. But don't upload sensitive data. My wife works for a pharmaceutical company. They use AI, but they have their own AI version. You can actually create your own GPT in that sense, which only uses content that you are happy to use within your business. And I'll come back to that. But thanks for asking that question. It's a very valid point in that sense. Just to show you how quick it has grown. I mean, I started in 2006 with social media. I saw the rise of Facebook and social media, which was enormous. That is dwarfed by the growth of AI. Facebook took 10 months to get 1 million users, Twitter 24 months, ChatGPT 5 days. It's a very fast improving sector. Every day there's new functionalities, new tools coming out. Don't keep standing on that platform and let the fast digital train go by. Join that digital train, join AI and be part of it, learn from it, because if you don't do it, your competitor will do it. The most known platforms are ChatGPT, that's what we're going to do most of the time. Copilot, Gemini is Google, Copilot is Microsoft, Claude is separate, is developed by Anthropic. Grok is Elon Musk's play toy in that sense. It's really amazing as well. And the last one, well, not the last one, there's a new platform by Alibaba. It's just called WAN2 or something, WAN 2.0 or something. Every day there's something happening in AI. It's madness. It's really madness. But we're going to focus on ChatGPT. ChatGPT, it's free. You sign up to openai.com, and I'll show you when I start sharing my my browser. I'll show you how to do that. By the way, if you're already using AI, ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Claude, put it in the chat as well. It would be quite handy to hear if you're already using it and how you're using it, for what reason are you using it. And Victoria and Myra will keep an eye on that. Microsoft invested quite a lot of money in it and keeps in that. It's launched in November 2022. The latest version is ChatGPT 4.0. Actually, it's 4.5, which was announced a couple of days ago. I didn't update this slide because 4.50 is still in sort of beta in that sense. So 4.0 is the last one that is sort of used most recent in that sense. When it says trained up to October 2023, all these tools, all these language models, that's what they call them, is basically a big brain. Everything that has been produced online, shared online, ebooks, websites, blog posts, social media posts, it has access to. It's this enormous brain that knows everything. Or when I say knows everything, it has access to everything. Yeah. And it has been trained to October 2023. So it knows the world as it was from until October 2023. So when you ask it, who is the president of the US or someone, it will still say Biden, I guess. Yeah. So keep that in mind. 4.0 does have access to the internet, so it will sort of go to the internet, but on the free version, you might be sort of limited in that sense. A lot of people asking, is it free? Yeah, it's free, and I'll show you how to set up an account. What about copyright? You can't copyright content, photos, videos, written content that has been produced by AI. It's unique content, but you can't copyright it in that sense. A lot of authors and a lot of artists and musicians that were in the news as well, they don't like it because you can actually create a song that is similar to Duran Duran, or I'm still in the 80s, or what is it, Taylor Swift now. And Taylor Swift doesn't get anything from that. She doesn't need it anyway, but you know, it has access. You can create songs that are very similar to, or content or art similar to Picasso or other people. Before I go into ChatGPT just now, just to show you what it is, it has been trained on a vast amount of data. And like I said, in that image that again is AI generated, it's like a virtual assistant. See it as a virtual assistant that has access to a lot of content, photos, videos, written content as well. It can answer questions on any topic. It can generate text. It can respond to emails. I let it respond to some of my emails, not every email, but sometimes you get an email in and you think, ooh, I need to think about this a little bit more instead of just replying straight away. What tends to happen is it takes too long, and then you can ask ChatGPT, respond to this email in a friendly yet professional way. And then it does it. My wife is a coder. She's using it for coding. Find the bug in this code. It translates. My nephew is on a flight just now to Japan, and I wish them a safe flight in Japanese because it can translate. Have a safe flight in Japanese. Yeah. Limitations. Occasionally, and I'll show you how to prevent that, it can produce incorrect content or outdated information. It lacks the personality, it doesn't have emotions. You need to bring that in. So let's go. Enough talking about ChatGPT.
Rene, I'm going to cut in there. So we've got quite a lot going on in the chat. I think it would be quite useful for me to kind of go through that now with you.
Yep.
I'm sure most of it is all incorporated, but we had the questions at the very beginning, I think, was, you know, what is the most difficult task? Would you like me to run through some of those?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. So we've got quite a few in there, which is great. The most difficult thing, so Mary, the most difficult thing for me is doing accounts, taking bookings, organizing changeovers, cleanovers. That's a new one. Cleaners, and doing marketing posts all at the same time. So I think that's a very typical day for a self-catering owner or you know, an accommodation business owner, is you're trying to do so many tasks, and how can that better be done? We've also got from Linda, recruiting and staying engaged with changeover team from 700 miles away. So again, you've got that challenge where owners live a long way away from where their cleaners and their staff are. So how can that be better coordinated? We've got Helen Lawrenson, frustrating tasks, thinking of something different, exciting, engaging to say on social media posts, and finding good images. And now I agree with that one. You know, that is quite tough to do that all the time, because we all know that social media is so important. It has to be consistent, and all the time you're trying to think of different things, and how can AI help with that? From Louise, wanting to implement a loyalty scheme, but being put off by the fact I will have to do it manually as my booking system doesn't allow it. So again, is that something that can be looked at through AI? Thinking of new ideas for blogs, that's I would say that's quite a common one. I think you know, that's again, we're being told content. So how can we use AI to really help us with the content that we're trying to write all the time, so that we can be found on Google and everywhere else? Pat, all of the above, which can be summarized as juggling so many tasks and keeping on top of priorities. I think you mentioned that earlier, how it really makes your day so much easier, and that kind of aligns with what you were saying. Again, another one, Andy, social media. I hate social media. I think, Andy, so many people hate it, but we have to do it because it's important for our business. I know I have to use it, just can't think of anything to say on a regular basis. And then we also just a couple of comments about what people are using AI for. So we've got Julia, who said that I use ChatGPT for blog and social media, but I would like to be able to use it in other areas. Now, that's the same with me. We use it for some of our writing within the team, but there must be so many other ways we can use it to make us more efficient. And we've got Pat as well, who's come in. She's dabbled with it when crafting newsletters, but again, she would like to use it for more. So there's a common theme there as well. So I hope that I'm sure that you're going to be covering a lot of that through today's session, but hopefully that helps give you an idea of who's actually in the workshop, and how, you know, we can tailor the workshop to help them as well.
Yeah, perfect. No, that's fantastic questions, and all these things can be sort of helped with ChatGPT as well. I can't go into every sort of thing, but I'm just going to show you how to get the best out of ChatGPT, and what most people are using it for. So can you confirm, Victoria, I'm sharing the ChatGPT. What can I help with? Is that on the screen just now?
You are, yeah. It says, can you help me with the admin of my business? It's the top.
Oh, right. Okay, that's the one that I don't want to share.
It's not, yeah, it's not a slide, Rene. It's like a Word document.
No, okay, that's fine. I'll just share. Hello. The other one, which is, oh, I need to do that one. Now you should see what can I help with.
That's it. Yes, we can see that. What can I help with in the ChatGPT?
So if you've never used ChatGPT, you go to OpenAI, and you should now see get answers, find inspiration. Is that correct, Victoria?
Yes, you find inspiration, be more productive. Yes.
Yeah. So if you never use ChatGPT, you don't have an account, go to openai.com, and then you will see this screen, start now, and that means you will see this. It's very much like Google, where you have one bit of form where you can fill things in. Just to explain, I've got the paid version of ChatGPT for a couple of reasons, which I will explain. When you sign up, you sign to a free account, and if you have the paid account, you have multiple ChatGPT's versions, but I'll go to the free account, which is called the legacy model. One of the differences, as you can see here, I can use ChatGPT to search the internet, and that's what people mean with it's a competitor to Google. I actually find myself more going to ChatGPT to find the answer than going to Google to find the answer. So it's definitely a sort of a competitor to Google. The free version doesn't have access to the internet. and is trained till October 2023 in that sense. So ask anything, and you can do that here. So this is the free version, and I had an interesting prompt. So anything that I put in here is called a prompt, an input, a prompt, and it's depending on the quality of the prompt. Is depending on the quality of the outcome. If you ask it a simple question, and I'll do that. Let's see if I can do that here. Can you help me with the admin of my business? It will say, yeah, sure, I can do that. Here we go. Could you specify what kind of admin tasks you're looking to manage or improve? For instance, are you looking to streamlining your client management, scheduling, invoicing, or perhaps something else? Yeah. So, for example, email newsletter was mentioned. I'll put that in here as well. So I'm just copying some prompts in here. Write an email template to send to previous guests who stayed in the summer, highlighting nearby outdoor festival and events and offering a discount for a return stay. And within seconds, it does that. Because it doesn't have access to the internet, it doesn't know what local events are like. Yeah. But here you go. So here is an email example that you then obviously need to tweak, need to edit using your own words. But at least you're not starting with an empty screen in that sense. Yeah. I can do another one. And I'm just using some examples that's, you know, write a polite email to be sent to guests the morning after checkout, asking them to leave a review on Google or Airbnb and provide a direct link to each review site. If I just ask that question, oh, let's put those, there we go. Wait. It will do it in that sense. But that's basic stuff. And as you can see here, it does that within seconds. Yeah. If I go to the paid for one, this is 4.0, and do a new chat. Now the search is there. So for example, if I, oh yeah, this is another one. Generate a 3-day itinerary for the family of 4 visiting my self-catering business on the Isle of Skye, including accommodations for drives, family-friendly hikes, and local restaurants, something like that. Yeah, it has access to the internet. So if I ask it then, and it does that straight away. Very tools, obviously. There we go. Which you then can output in a PDF, in a document, in an email, and all that sort of stuff. And it keeps doing that. What you need to do is check it. I did this in Open. I did my last session in Open. It recommended some things to see in Open. One of the things was actually closed a couple of months before. So don't take it as a given. Check it. Here we go. And I'm just going to stop it. Well, day 2. Yes, it's still a day 2. And I'm just going to stop it. But then at least you've got something that you can work on in that sense. Yeah. Let's see. I also have a social media plan. I did this earlier Here we go. And I'm going to share another screen, actually. Let's see if I can bring that up for you. Social media was mentioned, social media content. I'm now dragging in a social media calendar, 2025. Is that okay, Victoria? Can you just nod? You can see that? Yeah, okay. Every year for our clients, we produce a social media calendar because we know you sometimes need ideas. So now it's Pancake Day. You might have noticed that. Thursday is World Book Day, Employee Appreciation Day. There is actually a Husband Appreciation Day, but that's coming up later this year. Don't forget that one. You can then upload this to ChatGPT and ask it, create a social media plan for my business, a self-catering business near Aviemore in Scotland, using the events listed in this calendar. So basically, I've taken a screenshot of the month of March. I'm not going to upload the whole, I could upload the whole calendar and then say, create a social media plan for the whole year based on this social media calendar. And the output looks like something like this. Now, you might have noticed that I've done something sneaky. I've uploaded a previous one where actually Pancake Day was on the 5th of March and it just took it. So it's not checking things, it's just using the content that you've uploaded it. And if that is wrong, it will use wrong data in this sense. But ignore that. Inverness Half Marathon is taking place on the 9th. That was mentioned in the screenshot on the calendar. And heading to the Inverness Half Marathon, stay in comfort at our lodge, the perfect place to unwind after race day. Visit Inverness. So it does emojis, it does hashtags. I didn't ask it, it does it. Yeah. So if you're looking for ideas for your social media, you could ask it simply, give me a social media plan for the month of March, and it will give it. But the quality won't be as good as if you give it a little bit more context to say you're based in Aviemore or Skye or in the Borders or Aberdeenshire or Dundee or whatever. Give it more context, because if you give it more context, the output would be a lot better quality in that sense. Yeah, does that make sense? I use it every day for these things. I could, oh, here we go. That is, you don't see that anymore, but here is the image of the young couple. Just some really real life examples. Let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, Karen, just for you. My laptop camera shows me upside down. What causes that? And I'll send it to you. Yeah, so instead of Google, it could be a camera drive issue. It could be in Zoom. There is a flip mirror option and all that sort of stuff. And I can share that content with you, and I will share that with you, Karen, as well. There we go. Yeah. So any issue that you have, you can ask ChatGPT for a solution in that sense. Yeah. There we go. I use it to create documents. Now, the main thing is, and I'll just go to the free one just now, just to show you what's available in the free one. A lot of people say it's American, it's a bit roboty and everything. You can give it, you can actually customize ChatGPT, and you should customize ChatGPT, because otherwise it keeps on doing its stuff that it's doing as normal. So when you click on the icon in the top right, customize ChatGPT, you click on that. What should ChatGPT call you? What do you do? what should it do or not do? So, and I'll probably make this a little bit bigger so you can see that. There we go. It always comes back with leverage this and leverage that. I don't like the word leverage. I think I'm not sure if it's American or not, but I don't like it. So don't use words like leverage. Responses in a formal yet professional, no long sentences, focus on being clear, and always write in UK English. Because if you don't put that in the customizing it, it uses the Z's in optimization and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Give it more information. Should ChatGPT know about you? We're based in the UK. We deliver digital marketing, training, advising, consultancy, specialists. We don't like to call ourselves experts. We're specialists. Write your responses in British English in a professional but engaging format. Yeah. And then save it. And you can see enable it for new chats. So that's how you can customize your own ChatGPT. The other thing to be aware of is for safety, security, sensitivity things, what I mentioned at the start, you can change the free version and the paid version from ChatGPT to a temporary chat. So you click that, ChatGPT will change. This chat won't appear in history, and we don't use it to train our models. Yeah, and it will become black. So this is where you, if you have some information that you think bits, I'm not sure, but there might be some personal data, you can do a temporary chat and it won't use that data in that sense. They say. But Facebook also says we're not listening in on your telephone conversation. And you can put that back here as well. Yeah, I think we are getting closer to the coffee break, so I'll just stop sharing.
Rene, there was a question. You talked a little bit about image creation, which is quite exciting to be able to do that. I know I've tried but not succeeded myself. We had a question from Melinda. Could you please go through, I mean, you may be looking at this later on, but if you could go through image creation topic and comment on copyright as well as how to get it. Hang on, sorry, I'm not reading that properly. How to get it to create and actually get it to create an image. Please, thank you.
Dog playing with a ball. So this is ChatGPT. This is the free version, I think. Yeah, the legacy model. So this is the free version. So I'm going to copy this and let's see what happens. It will create an image. And until a year ago, you could really see this was AI gen. Oh, yeah. That's my timer to shut up. Here we go. It's still a bit AI, you can see that as well. But, you know, it's pretty good. So basically it is, if you want an image of something, try to make it as specific as possible. A lot of people start with a one-liner. Now my prompts are a lot bigger because I want to give it more context in that sense. This is make an image of a guy drinking coffee, because this is what I'm going to do very quickly. Drink a coffee at home. Again, very vague, and it can come up with anything. The more context you give it, the better it is. But this is what it does.
Rene, what are the rules if you download this image and you use it in social media? Are there any copyright issues, or is it okay to just download it and use it? Yeah.
There's absolutely no copyright issue, because that image, if I ask the same question again, it will come up with a different image. So it's unique. It's never been produced. Nobody has created that in that sense. So you can definitely use it. And I have to say, I see it more and more in social media posts where people use AI generated content, images. Do it in cartoon style. Let's see. And you can keep, that's the other thing I would like to emphasize, and we do that after coffee break. Don't take one answer and then keep asking questions. Keep going into, it's like talking to a real person, talking to a virtual assistant. There we go. Yeah. Right. I'm definitely ready for coffee. Shall we break the recording, or pause the recording just now and get back at 11? Is that okay?
That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Rene. That went very fast. It was it was great, really interesting. And just before we go away, just a reminder, everybody, if you come back and want to pop questions in the chat, please do so, and we can get to them when we come back. And enjoy your coffee break. Thank you.
Yep. Fantastic. Thank you very much. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Welcome back.
Thanks,
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much. Right. Before the break, I just showed you very, very quickly how ChatGPT works, how you can use it and everything. Karen, I just sent you, and the rest of the team actually, the link to what I just shared, but you're still upside down, so I guess it didn't work. But I'm going to use some real life examples as well, just to emphasize the way you can use it, how you should be using it, if you're already using it, how to make it better. So I'm just going to share my screen. There we go. Right. Most people, when they start with ChatGPT, they start with simple question: create a social media post for me, create a social media calendar, or how to improve this or make this better, and all that sort of stuff. There's so much more you can do with it. So, no doubt, I got a lot of emails in today to say, here is your Google Search Console report. Some people that have Google Analytics might get a monthly email. Here is your website analytics, and it comes up with very difficult to understand how to emphasize this. So what I've done, actually, I've went to Google Analytics. I downloaded from Google Analytics for the whole year data. So it's also good in sort of data interpretation. So if you have a lot of data, customer data, financial data, website data, social media data, and all that sort of stuff, you can actually upload it to ChatGPT. You can easily share a report in a CSV or a PDF. By the way, for some reason, I don't know why, for some reason, these AI tools like PDFs more. So you can upload it doesn't like Word documents. It does look at PDFs or CSV files. So you can download a PDF or download CSV. You can then upload it to ChatGPT, and that's not personal information. That's your website information. And I basically asked it a very simple question: what does that mean? And it explains what it means, but it doesn't give me what can I do with it. So you need to continue that conversation. Okay, give me insight on this, and then it gives you in normal English what it actually means and what you should be doing with that one as well. Yep. So that's it's not just very good in making things better, come up with content. Give me 5 blog post ideas for my self-catering business based in, let's do Perthshire now. I could stop here and then ask a question, but the more content you can, context you can give it, the better it is. My target audiences are, and then shift enter for a new line, because if you press enter, it does it. So shift enter, you go to a new line. You don't have to, but I like to do it. Families with kids, with young children. People who love the outdoors. And people who love REST R&R, I think. Let's see if it understands it as well. We have 2 self-catering cottages with a fireplace, open fireplace. There we go. Here are 5 blog post ideas. So here you've got your ideas. Now let's be a little bit adventurous. Let's go for a seasonal guide to Perthshire, what to see and do all year round. Write me a go for 400. Google doesn't index blog posts that are less than 300, so ideal should be 500 actually. Word blog post on number 4. And then we can see if it's using relevant sort of content. Enchanted Forest, but that's, don't know when that is. Here we go. And again, there you have it. You have some content, but then before you upload it to your website, you need to make it your own. In that sense, you can copy it here. You can keep editing Canvas. So if I click, and that's the paid version, that's not the free version. In Canvas, you can, if I click on that, it will open it up on the right-hand side, and I can actually go in and change some things or tell me more about this. Ask ChatGPT.
Just while you're on this, we've got a question that's come up exactly around what you're talking about. So using it to write a blog is a massive advantage for operators to be able to go in and do that and save so much time. And I think the question is, I was told Google doesn't like content that's been written by AI, so not to use AI for writing the full blog. Is this still the case? So I know that that's what you're saying, but I guess it would be interesting to know how much detail you need to change to make it your own. How far do you actually need to go with it?
Yep, that's very good. When AI started, people in SEO land were in panic, or content writing lands were in panic, because why would you hire a content writer or something like that? Google was in panic as well, because that was before Gemini, before they came with their own AI. And they indeed said, if you create blog posts on AI, it actually will not help you. It will be a negative impact on your SEO. I think they said that for a couple of weeks, and then they came up with their own AI tool, Gemini, and they changed their thing. Yes, it did that, but what is more important for Google and other search engines is that the content of your blog post is relevant to the people that read it. And I don't know if you heard about the EAT SEO principle, and I'll explain what that is. It's more important that your blog post is written in a style that's sharing your expertise. It needs to appeal to your target audience, and the T does something else as well. I'll ask you to P for that, but that's more important than it's written by AI. So, for example, what I've got on the screen just now is writer.com, which is free. And you can actually put in or a website address or text, and it will analyze to see 82% human generated. Yeah. Now, if I change some things or make some mistakes in it, you will see it's sort of, let's see if I can come and join us now. And then make a spelling mistake in it. There we go. It goes to 85%. Yeah. So never copy and paste, and that's, I mean, it does it in seconds. And then post it to your blog post. That's not right. Upload to a Word document or something like that. Go through it, make it your own, change things, and then you're more likely that it's seen by more human generated content. Yeah, I actually done that with another. I'll see if I can see that.
Rene, what percentage of human generated content are we looking for there? Are we looking for 80% plus, or is there anything specific? Is there anything?
It's more than 91%. More than 91% is seen as more human.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had somebody in the chat has put another something in. Linda Brown, thank you, Linda, for coming in. My understanding is the same for many of our marketing websites. We cannot use the same content across sites and have to provide something different each time, more than just tweaking. So I think that Linda's saying that on all the platforms they write something different. I guess that's correct. I would recommend that anyway. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Google doesn't like duplicate contents because then that is going to struggle with, hey, on that page is content, but on that page is similar content, and then it will make a decision what comes up higher on Google. So Google doesn't like duplicate content. That's absolutely right. So tweak it a little bit in that sense as well. It's harmful to upload the same content to your own page. If it's on another website, that's okay. But if it's on your own website, then you definitely need to change it. I asked it, what is the EAT principle in SEO? You need to share your expertise, your experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. That's important in content. If your blog post is picked up by search engines and a lot of people click on your website or you're on your blog post and people start to engage with it or share it, even that, then your ranking on Google starts to sort of grow in that sense, because apparently you're writing good content. I always remember, there was one self-catering business, I think it was an Isle of Skye, who wrote a PDF how to write me a PDF on how to drive on single track roads for visitors. She produced that years ago, and it was one of her most sort of picked up content. in that sort of thing. Here we go. I'll put this information in the doc and convert. So if I go back to what is the best way to get the best sort of response from ChatGPT, and I'll just share my other screen just now, which is that one. You see some examples here, and again, I'm happy to do that in real life as well. Create a cleaning checklist for a 2-bedroom cottage, including specific tasks for each room. I should have done that. I might do it. It came up with a beautiful checklist for cleaners to sort of go through these things. Translate the following welcome message into French and German. You know, if you have visitors from abroad, you might want to translate your normal welcome introduction into French or German or Dutch or whatever. And I've tried it many times. It does it in perfect Dutch. Analyze reviews. So you could go to TripAdvisor, you could go to Google Reviews, you can or download them or give them a link and say, what are the most commented on elements, positive reviews and less positive. Let's not use the word negative, less positive sort of comments. And then it sort of gives you an overview as well. So it can analyze a lot of data, a lot better than we do. This is what I have done for Google Search Console. Don't just analyze it, but give me recommendations how I can improve my SEO. How can I improve my search engine optimization? Knowing my Google Analytics or Google Search Console, what should I be doing? And it comes up with beautiful sort of comments. Just to confirm again, Victoria, just not, do you see hallucinations now on the screen? Yeah, okay. Always check. Like I said at the start, it makes things up, and nothing worse than sharing something that is not quite right. Yeah. And a simple question like the answer comes back from ChatGPT, and then asking it, are you sure? Those 3 words, are you sure, will sometimes come back, and I might have some examples in that, will sometimes come back with, I'm terribly sorry. It is very friendly. I'm terribly sorry. I've made a mistake. Actually, is this. And I noticed that with, I was working in Excel, and I needed to analyze some data in Excel. I needed to column A needed to correspond with column D and whatever. And I struggled for ages to come up with a formula to do that. And I asked ChatGPT, this is what I want to do. This is the outcome that I want. I want the content from column A, column D, blah, blah, blah. It came back with a formula, and I thought, great, why didn't I do that earlier? Came back with a formula, I put it in Excel, press enter, error. And I thought, hey, this is weird. So I went back to ChatGPT and said exactly those 3 words, are you sure? And then it came back with, terribly sorry, I made a mistake. Here is the right formula. And it was the right formula. Why does it give me the wrong answer first? Because it's basically, when I ask a question, it goes through this enormous database of information. It finds something, but as we well know, not everything that's written on the internet is the truth. It finds something, takes it for a given, and then gives it as an output. When you then ask, are you sure? It will then go back and find confirmation of these things, and then it finds something else. So keep that in mind. It comes up with weird stuff, for example. This is some examples that I've given it. Give me a social media plan for the month of March using events that are happening in my area, it comes up with it. A lot of people have a difficulty describing a persona for the business. Who are those people that are visiting my business or are using my services? You can again download your whole database, take out the names of the people and email addresses maybe, and then see if you can analyze, give me an overview of the clients that I had in 2024. Are they couples? Are there families? Are there et cetera, et cetera? You can do it in Excel as well, but this does it a lot better. Once you upload it, you can then sort of ask a different sort of questions. Always check it. This is also AI generated. That looks a lot more realistic, apart from the ear of the dog. That looks a bit funny. But people have 5 fingers, which used to be the trend where you can see if an image was AI generated. Sometimes people had 6 fingers or 3 arms, or the nose that was a bit quite off, but it's very, very, very realistic just now. Canva does images as well. And this is what I want to discuss with you, is you really actually need to get a better outcome, make a better input, make a better prompt. So the first thing is, what role or tone of voice should ChatGPT adopt? If you're looking for content, you can then say, act as an experienced copywriter with a specialism in digital marketing, hospitality, tourism, etc. I actually got money back from Loganair after I claimed some extra cost that I made because of flights being delayed for 2 days. An email came back to say we're, according to airline law number 2477, I don't know, we don't have to refund you these sort of costs that the extra costs that you made. I went to ChatGPT and I said, act as a legal advisor with a specialism in aviation. Act as a tax consultant. Act as an HR consultant, specialist, etc. So give it a role. If you don't, it comes back with generic thing. Yeah. Then you need to come up with a task. What do you want ChatGPT to do? And again, that goes to number 3. The more context you give it, the better the outcome. And what you will find after a while is that your input, the prompts, are going to grow from 1 line to 12 lines. Spend some time on optimizing the input, the prompt. When it comes back, and it is okay, go into more detail. Keep going into more detail. Don't stop with the first question. Examples, you can upload screenshots, you can upload words that you think, this is an example of a previous email that I sent, or this is a document that I normally send to my guest before they check in, a welcome pack or something. How can you make it better? What should I do to make it better, etc., etc. The format, do you want the output in PDF, in a table, in an Excel sheet, any form, or a photo or a video in that sense as well. And then the tone, what mood or style would that do? Right.
Rene, just before you go on, just how can we've got Jill's come in there, quite an interesting comment. We can improve information for our area by asking it very specific questions, but then correcting it when it gets it wrong. If we correct it in the AI site, so if we correct it in ChatGPT, will that then help content being correct going forward. Is that?
It does, actually. It does. If you use it, it will use your prompts and their output to learn. It's the thing with AGI is it continuously learns. It never stops. It learns from your behavior because in the settings, let's see, I'm not, yeah, I am sharing. There we go. Personalization, here we go. Am I sharing the settings on ChatGPT?
No, no, you're not actually.
Okay, then I'll do that just now.
Yeah.
There we go. So I basically went to the top right, click on settings, and under personalization, it will say memory, and you can switch that on. That means it remembers the previous conversation and it learns from your previous sort of questions and comments and changes. So if you say, hey, that's not right, that's attraction is closed now or is not open during winter, it will memorize it. It will remind it. Scary. Does that answer your question? Yep. Okay.
Thanks, Rene. Sorry, I have my
yeah
turned off, but yeah, absolutely. That's really interesting. Thank you.
I'll just show you a prompt that give that example. So here we go. This is a prompt a typical prompt that I would do now, and it's a lot bigger than a one-liner or a two-liner. So for example, I need a promo paragraph of text for our website, Tuminds.com. Act as an experienced content writer with a specialism in digital marketing and AI. The text needs to be this. The text will be followed. Now let me see, I've done that. Oh yeah. I also said, before you start writing the content, and this is the advanced sort of trick. Before you start writing the content, because if I press enter, it will write it straight away. Ask me some in-depth questions that will help you creating a well-optimized and inciting content. So basically, you're going to use ChatGPT as a sort of a tutor, a coach to say, okay, I want to write a good article for you, but you need to answer some of these questions. So let's see what happens. And this is the next step in getting the right sort of answers from AI, ChatGPT, is a prompt. And then before you start writing the content, ask me some in-depth question. And then it will ask me questions, 5 questions. What are the key aspects? Could you describe the main areas? What are the challenges, unique selling points, tone and brand voice? And when I start answering these questions, then it creates the content. Yeah. So that's the sort of the next step in that sense. And I've actually done that. So if I do this, it will load it. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. Oh, yeah. This one, actually. Yeah. Here we go. Another one. If I go to ChatGPT. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. If you keep using ChatGPT and using the same sort of screen, it will dilute the conversation. So this is coming back to Karen's question about why is he still upside down. you should, if you start a new question, open up a new chat. Otherwise, it thinks it's still in that same chat. So start with a new chat. There we go. And for the people that were asking questions, how can I optimize my workflow, my CRM, my newsletters, and all that sort of stuff? This is me describing what I do. We use Trello, CRM, Calendly. A lot of my work is blah, blah, blah. Most clients book a session very quickly, which means blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for some help with how to optimize my workflow, and see also attached a screenshot of my Trello board. And then it will come up with a solution about the different sort of things. I don't know if people have heard of Zapier. Zapier is a tool that often gets used to automate things. So if different systems do not link with each other, you can then use a third-party application, which is called Zapier, to make that link between the different sort of platforms. And that's how you can automate a lot of these things. Yeah. If you don't know what webhooks are, don't worry. Ask, can you explain? Can you explain like a 12-year-old option 3? I'm not a wizard. I'm not a technical person. Explain to me like a 12-year-old in simplistic terms, you know, how to do that. Yep. And then step by step. And I use this on a daily basis. If something doesn't work, I actually gave it, there we go. I'm not sure if I can see that again. Yesterday, I did that yesterday. Oh yeah. I wanted to put the logo of the ASSC on my slides, especially on the first slide, but it didn't go well with the blue of my slides. So I asked it, how can I make this white? I want to add it to my slide deck. And it will say, I can convert the logo to a white version. And it did that, but it did it in pink. All of a sudden, the logo was pink. So I said, that's not white, it's pink. All the text and icons need to be white. And then it says, I see what happened. And it talks like a person. I've now correctly made the text and icons white while keeping the background transparent. You can download the uploaded version here, and it did do it. Yeah. Sometimes you get an error on your computer. I have no idea what that means. Go to chat. Normally I would go to Google, but now go to ChatGPT, because not only says what it means, it also can give you the solution on how to solve it. Yep. Cool. Let's see if I can go back to the slides. Any other questions coming in?
No, there's excuse me, there's no other questions coming in at the moment. I know there were some questions earlier on that we touched on around some of the other things that you can do. So we've talked a little bit about that, but you know, are there, when it comes to accounts and things like that, are there ways we can use it?
Yep. Yep. Accounts, for example, I use Xero. And if I have a question about Xero, or how can I link Xero to my CRM or what else, you can ask a question. And again, think about those sort of 6 steps about the role first. Act as an experienced accountant, or with a specialism in Xero, or what's the other one? QuickBooks and all that sort of stuff. Or I use Free to Book, or I use what is oh, I forgot the name now. That you guys use. Tell me, Victoria. The online booking platform.
Online booking platform, Super Control.
Super Control, that's
yeah.
right. That's the one. Super Control. I use Super Control. And instead of sending an email to Melinda, you can ask ChatGPT to say, I use Super Control. I want to connect it to this, or I want to do this. Act as Super Control expert, specialist, and all this sort of stuff. So it's mind blowing in that sort of things. I mean, the things it can do is really, and we're just scratching the surface just now. I mean, there's so many things you can do as well. I did a presentation in Open a couple of weeks ago, and I got feedback from, I think it was also, no, it was an e-commerce business, and is now using ChatGPT as a coach, a business coach. I'm doing this, that, and that, but how can I make it better? I'm looking for a new product. I'm looking to target a new audience. What are the steps and all that sort of stuff? And it comes up with it. The trick is, like I said, don't just wait for the answer. Say to ChatGPT, what do you need from me to make sure you write to give me the best outcome? What do you need from me? And it will ask you those questions. Personal assistance. A couple of weeks ago, I was delivering a free Q&A webinar, and I was looking for a quick, what do you call that, feedback form, using Typeform. I don't know if people use Typeform, but this is sort of a perfect way to get people filling in a form. And that will at least take me an hour to do that. And I've asked ChatGPT, I'm thinking of using Typeform, a few things I would like to know for the people, and I can see if I can bring that in. A few things I would like to know of the people that have signed up for the free webinar. For example, how did they hear about this webinar? Are they already using? If you can think of any other questions I should be asking, I would appreciate if you can add a few more questions. Don't make it too long. About 5 to 6 questions should be long. That was a prompt. Yeah. What was the outcome? The outcome was within seconds. This. And I know this is only 6 slides, but still, it would have cost me a lot of time to create this. And now it's done that in minutes, and I can then share it with that sort of thing. Yeah. So it's using a lot of different tools. So if no doubt, all your people will use accounting software, online booking software. I don't know what other sort of tools you're using, but they can all be accessed from ChatGPT.
I think the digital guidebooks as well, that's an area it could really help, is helping with content for that, for that pre-arrival information for guests.
Yeah.
I know I've used it for that myself, and it was very effective.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a matter of using your brain, and I think that's what everyone's worried at the moment, that we're not going to be using our brains enough because we have AI. But I think there's ways that, as you say, you have to make that content your own. You have to give it the personal touch, and it's thinking about all the local businesses around you. So it is still using your brain, but it's making you more efficient in your business, and you can do things more quickly. So that's the way to.
Absolutely, and that's a good point. We have Emma in our team. Some of you might know Emma. She's a content writer for us. And when I introduced her to ChatGPT, she said, "Oh, that's my job gone." I said, "No, actually, I'm going to give you the paid version, because this is a tool to make your life easier, because you're not only writing content, you also need to do this, you need to do that." actually this will free up time to do other things as well. And indeed, after a couple of days, he changed her mind to say, this is not taking up my job. This is actually a tool for my job. And that's how you should see that as well. There are ethical considerations with, bias and fairness. But, it's that shouldn't stop you using it in that sense. And obviously that is getting better as well. Okay.
There's just another couple of things while we're on that subject of sort of ethical and what's right. I think Jill sort of came in, one of the issues she had is the AI, the environmental costs of AI.
Yeah.
And I think that's always a consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. ChatGPT and the other tools are using a massive amount of energy, much more than I think. I was at a presentation somewhere else and it said 16 interactions with ChatGPT is equivalent to boiling the kettle. And think about millions of people using ChatGPT every day. It costs a lot of energy to keep that brain going in that sense. And a lot of people are not happy with that. For obvious reasons in that sense. But again, that shouldn't stop you use it in consideration, like in that sense, it's but be aware of it, that there are sort of implications for that one as well. 3 tips. Identify areas for improvement. Look for tasks or processes that you're doing every day are time consuming or require a lot of data analysis. I remember every Christmas, over the years, over the 19 years that we run business, I've used 4 different CRMs, databases, client databases. I've downloaded all those databases, but they all have different columns. And every Christmas, I'm thinking, when it's Christmas, I'll combine these databases or have one database. It takes a lot of time because it's in Excel. You need to do all the columns in that way. Christmas, I don't have time for it. Now, last Christmas, in ChatGPT, here are 4 databases. Make it into one database with the same sort of column names and everything. Took seconds. I mean, those sort of things is very good. Start small and experiment with those sort of things. Helpful hints to keep in mind. And again, that handsome fellow is AI generated. They're all handsome in AI generated tools. Know the limitations. Don't take it as a given. And also, it's trained up till October 2023. So if you have the free version, it doesn't have access to up-to-date information in that sense, unless you go online with the paid version. Follow up on prompts. Don't be just satisfied with the first answer. Keep asking it. Using polite language improves AI response. It's like my Alexa. I'm very friendly to Alexa. I'm also very friendly to ChatGPT because at some point they will take over and they do remember. So always be friendly. Yes. And pay attention to punctuation, grammar, and capitalization. It's because it memorized these things as well. So, you do the proper things and use quotation marks as you would use in Google search as well to help identify what it needs to focus on. So if you say, make this better, doing quotation marks the sort of the context that you want to make better. And start fresh. That's what I just showed you. Don't keep going in the same sort of chat that you have. Start a new chat and it will remember all the sort of previous chats as well. Cool. I'm actually on time, 11:43. This was supposed to end at 11:45. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm here for the questions that are still not being answered. So are there any questions in the chat, Victoria, that's needs?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few in the chat, and welcome some hands up if anybody wants to come in on camera and ask a question. We would love that too. So Pat Middleton has asked if you know what the cost is of the paid version.
Very good. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. It's $20 per month. And it's not on well, it is on a rolling contract, but you can stop it at any time. So for example, if you know you're gonna need the more advanced, because there is a difference, and I've tried it many times as well. If I ask the free version of ChatGPT, it will come up with a different answer than I used to pay it for, because it's trained on a bigger model and all that sort of stuff. So if you really want to use it for a specific month, for example, I would upgrade for a month, $20, use it. And if you're ready with it, it's not an account. It will come up with a sort of reminder you need to pay the $20 again. And if you don't want it, you don't pay for it. But there is a difference, yeah, $20.
Thanks, Rene. That's really useful. Can we still use alt text for AI generated images? So we obviously alt text when you're for your website.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that. I always say it when you upload an image, and when I download an image from ChatGPT, it has a very long name, a series of letters, numbers. Always change the title of the image, make it something that has keywords in it, Tuminds self-catering in Venice, front, for example, .jpeg or PNG in that sense. And you can still, and you should, when you upload to your website or anywhere else, use the alt text, and the alt text is indexed by Google as well. So use all the tools that Google is using for their search engine optimization. So you still need to use alt text, yeah.
Thank you, Rene. I have got some more questions here, but just before, so is there anybody that wants to come in with anything in particular? No, I think, right, Rene, one question here. If you're using AI for your social media, will that hurt your ranking at all on Google? Will it no, on social media, how it appears on social media? Will it do any damage, basically, rather than an original content that's not AI generated?
And you're talking about words or images or both?
Well, but both actually. Words. Let's go with words first, and then we'll go with images. How about that?
Yeah. If your website is, let's say, 90% AI generated, I wouldn't recommend it. I definitely wouldn't recommend it. It can help optimizing existing. I actually had an example ready, but I forgot to show it to you, where you have existing content. It's a little bit of short content from a self-catering business. I found a self-catering business which is listed on Embrace Scotland, had a little bit of short content about their cottage. You can upload that to ChatGPT and say, expand on this. And again, it needs to appeal to couples, singles or families, or all that sort of stuff. And it creates content. Again, the best way of doing it is paste it, but make it your own. It will not harm your SEO in that sense. If all of your pages are AI generated, I would hesitate. I would say that's not a good thing, but it's mainly the sort of the tweaks in that sense. On that subject as well, a lot of people struggle with the SEO titles and the SEO description of a web page. You can go to ChatGPT. The paid version, you can put in the link to say, give me a good SEO optimized title and description. for this page, and then you give it the URL. For the free version, you copy the context of that page, paste it into ChatGPT, and then ask the same question. Write me an SEO optimized title and description for this page, and it will help you with those things as well. And I've done that myself for a client a couple of days ago, where we went through every page, and we gave them SEO optimized title. We still tweaked it, but it can definitely help for that as well. Relating to images, it will not harm if you use AI generated images for SEO. It definitely will not harm. What most people do now is being seen as the proper use is, they say this image is AI generated underneath in small letters or something. You can do that as well.
And that's website. What about social media? So you've got you generate your social media content, you put up your Facebook posts. Will that affect the algorithm in any way? No. Okay. No. Great. Thank you very much. There's a couple of other here. So have you got a top tip for businesses, for self-catering businesses, a top tip that you can give today as a takeaway to save time and improve a business? What would you say would be your top tip?
Well, like the person that said, I'm living 700 miles away from my business. I need help with, what's it, cleaning scheme or something like that. I might still show that actually, but I had one of those questions in ChatGPT as well. Create a cleaning schedule for my 2-bedroom cottage and everything, and it came back with a sort of a whole list of a checklist of things. Look, it's a bit like what I used to say and still say. Look at every step in your business. How can I make it better? And I used to run a hotel myself, and I know what it's like. You know, there is the communication before the client arrives. You know, so what are the steps before the client comes to your business? And then look at every step to say, okay, how can I make this better for the client? How can I improve in it? So if you write down every step before the client arrives, while the client is there, and then afterwards, if you can improve every step by a little bit, the end result is bigger. Yeah, and that's in relation to customer service, you know, for the customer. Do the same for AI. Look at every step and then think, can I minimize the time spent on all these things, and have a conversation with ChatGPT. Again, and that's why I emphasize it every time. See it as a person, see it as a virtual assistant, and write your prompts in the way you would talk to a person. Let's put it that way. And then you get a better result in that sense, and keep asking it questions into more detail. And if things don't work, keep asking it and say, well, this doesn't work. Is there an alternative in all that sort of stuff? And there are sort of businesses that I work with that are helping businesses with exactly that sort of things. If certain tools that you're using in the business are not working together, there are ways you can do that. If you can't do that, I know people who can.
Thank you, Rene. Any more questions before we finish up with the last couple of slides? I think
I have one more thing, if there's no question, just for fun. Anyone heard of Suno? Suno, you can write your own songs or music. Suno.com is free, And it's my mother's birthday today. So I said, create a birthday song for my mother, who is 81 today. She loves crossword puzzles and games on the iPad. And then you click on create. And then it creates 2 songs. And it's fascinating how good it is. It will come up on the right-hand side. Oh, 81 candles for you, Mom. Here we go. And if I play that. Can you hear that?
No, unfortunately. Oh, there we are.
Could you hear that song or not?
It's not terribly clear. It's a little bit muffled,
okay.
unfortunately, but we've got a little bit of it.
All right.
I think we'll all have to go away and play. Lots, there's so much to take away from this, Rene. Thank you so much. And I think it is the way the world's moving. It is frightening in more ways than one at the moment. And I think, you know, just having this conversation today in this chat, and it's been really, really informative, and I think will give many of our members the opportunity to dabble a little bit more, and just we have to embrace these changes, otherwise we'll fall behind. Yes. And yeah, this is one of the biggest. I certainly will know, that's for sure. We've just got, Rene, have you got anything else you want to add before we just move on? We've got another 5 minutes.
No, there was one question about the loyalty scheme. Someone asked, I'm interested in writing or having a loyalty scheme as well. Again, you know, communicate that with ChatGPT and see how it can create that, but also implement it in those things. Yeah, and that's it basically.
Thank you very much, Rene. Maya, would you like to share the slides? Thank you. Well, honestly, thank you so much. That was great. And we really look forward to welcoming Rene back again with us. So we have another couple of workshops happening before we all get really busy. I'm hoping some of you are really busy already. 1st of April, we have social media for beginners. So this will be for those that want to, that perhaps don't really like social media very much, but realize actually this is really important for my business and I want to learn a lot more. So Rene will be taking those that come along right back to the very beginning of social media, and with some really useful tips. Again, that will be an interactive 2-hour workshop. There'll be the opportunity to ask questions throughout as well, very much like today. It will also be recorded, so don't worry if you can't be there. We also have the 8th of April. So once you've done the beginners, then you'll be ready for the advanced. So we hope you'll then join us on the 8th of April for the advanced social media session. We then have another event coming up on the 14th of May. That's at Kingsmill Hotel in Inverness. So we look forward to welcoming members to that. We'll have some booking information on that coming soon. We also have another regional gathering happening in November. That will be in Stirling, but the date's yet to be confirmed. So that's a couple more things for you all to get involved in. And again, as marketing members, we are here. Maya particularly is here for you. So if you've got any questions at all, and of course we also have, I apologize, I should have mentioned 11th of March, we also have the drop-in surgery. Now that, thanks Maya, 11th of March from 4 until 5 p.m. that would just be Maya and myself and any marketing members that want to come along, have a chat with us, ask questions. It might just be a normal marketing question. We might not be able to answer it, but what we will do is we will go away and try and find out the answer. It might be a question about your listing on Embrace Scotland and how you can improve that. It might be in relation to what you've heard today. So if you want to come along, please do. And sometimes it's easier than emailing and just actually being able to be in a Zoom room, and chat with us can make it a lot easier. So please come along on the 11th of March. All of this information will be sent out in the next marketing member newsletter. And I know Maya also gets in touch directly with marketing members as well, just to remind them of what's coming up. So please get involved. And we also have our marketing campaign that's still going on. So, you know, please get involved with that as well. And there you have Maya's contact details, communications@assc.co.uk. Any further questions relating today, if you want the recording, anything like that, the SEO recording, please get in touch. Also, there's Anna's email address there. You will know Anna as she's our membership, partnership and events person as well. And please, just a reminder to get engaged with the Embrace Scotland social media sites, Facebook, Instagram and X we are on. So please engage with those as well, because we can share your content and what have you. So thank you. A final big thank you, Rene. You were absolutely fabulous and we really enjoyed that. It was really great to see faces as well of members. So, and thank you very much to all our members that came along today, and to Maya, of course, who's been working away in the background and showing off all the slides and things. Thank you, Maya.
Oh, there's Wendy. Yay. I was wondering which Wendy is that? Ah, it's been a while. Yes, very good.
Thanks, Maya. And thank you, everybody. Lovely to see you, and hope you have a really great rest of the week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.